conversion between fraction, decimal, and percentage and percent in the Jamaican language. Alright, so, well, in the Jamaican Patois, although the way them spell it, Patois, that sound like Patois. Anyway, now, fraction, decimal, and percent. But the thing is doing now, before you convert between fraction, decimal, and percent, you need to know what a fraction is. I'm going to assume so you don't know. One name fraction, one name decimal, one name percent. Alright? Percent kind of easier to deal with. Now, percent. We'll find this percent business. Now you have two parts to this word there. You have per and you have cent, right? Now per mean out of, just like when they have kilometers per hour, it mean how far you travel, the distance you get out of every hour, right? You get some pay for your contract per week, per fortnight mean per every 2 weeks, per week mean out of every week. How much pay you get each week out of every week? So per mean out of. Now cent, C-E-N-T, come from some word centrum, C-E-N-T-R-U-M, something like that. I think it must be Latin, you know. I think so. It means 100. So, for example, you have cricket and a batsman lick 100 runs. You say him lick a century, C-E-N-T, cent. Or somebody live to 100 years. You say them, you call them a centenarian, right? Or you say 100 cents make $1, 100th cent. So cent mean 100. So this mean out of cent. Alright, let me type that the thing there. It mean out of, sure, that's it, yeah. Out of cent, per cent, out of 100. So, out of cent, it really mean out of every 100. Right? Now, the symbol for percent is something like this. So when you say 5%, it means 5 out of every 100, 5 out of cent, right? 5 per 100. 1/10 means 10 out of 100. Same as 1 out of 10, right? So that is what it means. Per 10% is 1/10. 50% means 50 out of every 100. 50 is half a 100, so you can write this as half. So you see that? That's a percent. Now, this decimal business. When it comes to decimal, deci means 10, alright? The decimal number system means out of 10. And I believe we use the decimal number system because we really have 10 fingers. And it developed out of the fact that we count with 10 fingers. So we develop a decimal system. The decimal system. it means out of 100, right? Now, I mean out of 10, I talk about. So, if you have a number 157 and a half, you usually write that as 157.5. The point is what you call a decimal point. So what this means is 100 plus 50 plus 7 plus, and then half, right, which is 0.5. In this case 0.5. Now this 100 mean 1 times 100 plus the 50 is 5 times 10 plus the 7 times 1 plus, now 0.5 is the same as 5 out of 10. But you can rewrite this as 5 times 1/10. So you go 100, tens, 1, then 1/10. And suppose it was 0.56. Then this would be plus 6 out of 100, which means the same as 6 multiplied by 1/100th, and so on. So to the left, you have the number, each digit multiplied by multiples of 10. And then, when you differentiate the whole number part from the decimal part, each digit continuing to the right of the whole number part is multiplied by the 1 divided by a multiple of 10, right? So 5 times 1/10, 6 times 1/100th. Now, of course, you can rewrite this, if you're familiar with your indices, as 1 times 10 squared plus 5 times 10 to the 1 plus 7 times 10 to the 0 plus 5 times 10 to the negative 1 plus 6 times 10 to the negative 2, right? So this, they call this the decimal point, right? To the left, you have numbers 1 or greater, and to the right of the point, you have numbers smaller than 1. Say 0.56. So, in this case, you have the decimal point. That shows the difference between numbers 1 or bigger. We multiply by 10 to the 0, 10 to the 1, 10 to the 2, and so on. And to the right, you have numbers smaller than 1, which means you multiply each by 10 to the negative 1, 10 to the negative 2, 10 to the negative 3, and so on. In other words, 1/10th, 100th, 1000th. So that is the decimal. You see? And then we have fraction now. We talk a little about the fraction. Now, the thing is this. Suppose you consider half. 0.5, that means 50%. 0.5 of the decimal, 50%. The percentage, and then you equate it to the fraction. So what you have now, 50%. If you cancel this down, it's the same as 1/2. Now 1/2 mean what? Suppose you have one whole thing as a circle, right? Let me see now. This is my bulla cake. I love my bulla, you know, right? Although I don't eat too much of it. But why? All the ginger bulla. Sweet man. But anyway, when you eat bulla, you have to make sure you exercise it off, you know, because of the sugar. Right? And don't eat too much of it. Alright. Now, half a bulla. Let me just do this. And shade half a bulla. If I come now and I shade half of the bulla. Let me shade right around here. Alright, good. That is half a bulla. It means 1 out of 2. So I can cut this bulla in 2 halves. And now I can yam half of the bulla and leave the other half for later. Or if I want to share it with somebody. Half, what that means? This means the total number of equal parts. I have one whole thing and I cut it up in 2 equal parts. So this now are the total number of equal parts. You see that? The total number of equal parts, I cut up the whole thing, you know. Now this, you call the denominator. Right? The number below this line. I then call it value sum line, something like that. But the number below the line, you call that a denominator. It shows how many equal parts the whole thing cut up in. Right? Equal part means you know cut this up. And then you have this. Or let me redraw it. And so you cut it, right? These not equal. This bigger than this. It must be equal parts. Now, this is how many you're interested in. How many are under consideration. How, in this case, how many are those equal parts you're going to eat? Are you going yam? Right? I think they say the word yam come from some West African language. Now, this is how many are the equal parts you're interested in. How many you're going to use. So how many to use. How many are the equal parts you're going to use. How many you're going to take. Right? How many you're going to consider. How many are the equal parts out of the total. So that is the fraction. You see that? So we have decimal, we have the percentage, and we have the fraction. Now, what we're going to do later on is see how you actually convert from one to the next, right? This are just to show you what the fraction, the decimal, and the percentage look like. You see it? Alright, so later on, we deal with that.